Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm coming back at it with a makeup video today, sis. So I actually did this makeup on my TikTok a couple weeks ago, but it was kind of like super fast and I wanted to go a little bit more deep and in depth with you guys and show you what I do for my eyebrow routine. So if you guys want to see how to get them fleeky eyebrows, then just keep on watching. Okay. Before we get started, here's a couple tips. Don't pluck your brows for 6 to 8 weeks. If you are plucking your brows, use these mapping tips. I'm going to show you guys how to map out your brows. So first, you're going to take a little pencil, brow brush, whatever. I'm using a teasing comb because why not? You're going to go in between this part of your nose, and you're going to go straight up. So mine is actually coming a little bit further in than this part of my nose, but basically your brow needs to stop right there. It's not going to be out here, it's not going to be out here. Sis, if your brows are all the way out to the outside of your nose, like right there, grow them freaking in. Grow them in. But this is where your brow is going to want to start. Now, as far as the arch goes, we're going to go over here on the other side. So where I like my arch is right on the outside of the pupil. So a lot of people like to go right through the pupil and bring the arch in a little bit more. That's totally personal preference. I like a little bit more of that further out brow because I feel like it complements my face shape more. So typically I like to do the arch right on the outside of the pupil. You see how it's not going through the black? It's going right by the black through my arch. The second point is going to be you can either go from the tip of your nose right in this crevice, or you can go from the outside of the nose. Typically, when I'm doing clients, I go from tip of the nose and then to the outside of my eyelid. You guys, I know that I look absolutely crazy when I'm doing this, but honestly, it helps so much when you map out where you need to pluck your eyebrows. Because if you don't map it out and you see a hair that's within 2 centimeters of your hair that you have and you're like, oh, I'm gonna pluck it because it looks out of place. Don't pluck it until after you've mapped your brows and you know how thick you want your brows, because maybe if you leave that hair, it'll end up building up your brow how you want it. Now that you have the basis of how you maintain your brows, you need some tools to actually do your brows. So first we're going to start off with the Anastasia Brow Definer, not the Brow Wiz, the Brow Definer. The reason why I go for the Brow Definer is because the tip is more of like a triangular shape. There's a smaller edge and a bigger edge. You can use dupes. Use dupes. Try different things, but I really enjoy the Anastasia and that's why I use it. But if you want to use something cheaper, use something cheaper. There's so many different products with this same shape that are so much cheaper than the Anastasia Brow Definer. Okay. Next thing you're going to want to need is a brow powder. I have the Benefit Foolproof Brow Powder. I like this one because it has 2 tones to it. It doesn't matter what type of brow powder you use. If you want to use something from NYX, if you want to use something from Morphe, like I don't even know who has brow powders anymore. If you want to use a different brand, you definitely can. I just prefer this one because I bought it and I have it, okay? So this one has a duotone to it. It's got a lighter color in the front and a darker color in the back. That way if you want to add more dimension or if you get your brows tinted darker, then you can kind of mess around with it a little bit more, okay? I use number 5. I actually do get my brows tinted darker than the natural color. The natural color is a little bit darker than my roots, but it would still be considered like a taupe, and I like darker brows. That's just my personal preference, okay? You don't have to do darker brows if you don't want to. This still works with blonde brows, red brows, literally anything, okay? Next thing with the brow powder, you're going to need an angled brow brush. This is the number 20 brow brush from Sephora. This one is actually probably 6 years old, so there's no spoolie on the other end, but it usually comes with a spoolie, which comes in handy. I love the bristles of this brush because they're a little bit harder and it's not as precise. So I feel like this is perfect for powders. And you guys can use whatever brow brush you want. As long as it's angled, it typically will work. Okay, next product we're going to need is a clear brow gel. If you guys like a little bit of a fuller, thicker brow, you can definitely use a tinted brow gel, but with how much product is already in my brow, I like to go in with a clear one just to make sure that my brow hairs stay in place. So the clear brow gel that I use is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. You guys, this is expensive. If you want to get a $3 one from Essence, Essence has a $3 one that works just as good and cements the brow hairs down. But I love this because it literally feels like concrete on my brow hairs, and they stay wispy and in place all day, and I don't need to worry about my brow hairs blowing in the wind, okay? So this is my favorite finishing clear brow gel. Totally personal preference for you guys. All right, so now that you've got your tools in place, then we're just gonna hop on over to the voiceover so you guys can hear the tutorial. Okay, starting off, we are going to just brush through the brows a bit, get a little bit of that excess foundation out of them, and then we'll start off the whole brow routine by brushing the hairs down with a spoolie. Then I'm going in with my Anastasia brow definer, and I'm using mostly the bigger side of it, trying to. Anyway, we want to keep the smaller side nice and sharp. But what I'm going to do here is build up the outside of the arch. Yes, there's more to the bottom side. There's a top side to the arch too, and my brows tend to be very sparse on the top side. So I'm going to use this pencil to define the top side and then define out into the tail of the brow as well. So now once your brow looks a little bit like this, we are going to brush those brow hairs up, and then we're going in with our powder next. So picking up the powder on the angled brow brush, I am going to fill the middle of the brow. Filling the middle of the brow is actually just right underneath that brow pencil and right above those little brow hairs that come naturally on my eyelid. So first we start right underneath where we put that brow definer, and then I am actually going to start building out towards the tail. So when I build out towards the tail, I keep the powder closer to the brow definer and further away from those little wispy brow hairs. I really want to make sure that I have a nice angle for my tail and build out the tail without touching those front wispy brow hairs from the bottom of my arch. Yes, on the outside of the tail. You guys, I hope you get the area. I hope you do. Going back into my brow powder, I'm going to start defining the bottom of the arch. So basically what I'm wanting is I'm wanting the tail to look a little bit more wispy, whereas the front should look more clean and crisp. I'm still missing a couple hairs right in my arch where I would like to build it out further. You guys saw my mapping process a couple minutes ago. So I'm actually just going to fill in brow powder there where I wish to have more hairs. Really don't be afraid to go back and forth with your brow brush. I know that the angle is angled for a reason, but honestly I feel like going back and forth evenly distributes the product, and it gets to those tough areas where you just can't seem to let the product stick down. Now with whatever's left on the brush, we're going to do little back and forth motions just to fade out the front area of the brow. You can dip back in and get a little bit extra brow powder. If you do that, be sure to focus it on the bottom chiseled area of the brow and then go into the front and give it a nice fade. So what we're trying to achieve is this nice ombre effect. Once you have the general shape and the ombre effect settled down how you like it, you're going to grab that brow definer again and use the skinny side and make little brow hair strokes right in the front sparse area of the brow. This is where I'm the most sparse, and I know that I need a little bit more structure, and it gives my brow a little bit more of that fullness too. So since we did an ombre to most of the mid shaft to the front of the brow, I'm actually going to bring some brow hair strokes back through the brow up into the arch, but not go past the arch. After that, I'm brushing through with my spoolie just to make sure all of my hairs are pointing up. And then I'm doing a quick run through with my clear brow gel. What the clear brow gel is going to do, it's going to make my tail look as wispy as I like it, and also keep all of my brow hairs in place. After your brow hairs are set down, this should be the look that we're going for. I brush through just to make sure there's not any clumpies or hairs going off in the wrong direction, but this is the basic brow look. So I then zoomed out and kind of took a look at my face. Don't be discouraged by the difference in how my brows look. I actually find that once it's completely done, I'm not so freaked out, but this was the first time that I ever did one brow without the other brow. And I was just so skeptical of why I was showing you guys this routine, but I hope you give it a try it out for yourself, and see how you like it. Okay, you guys, that's gonna be it for my video today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so happy doing my makeup videos again. Oh my god. If you guys are wanting to learn more about makeup basics, please click the link right up above here. This is my first back to basics tutorial. So there's not going to be anything in there until a couple weeks from now, but if you guys are seeing this a couple weeks from now, boom, back to basics makeup routine series right here. I still don't have the name set, but okay, whatever. I don't know. I may have just messed that all up. Click this link right up here. Please give me a big fat subscribe. I make 2 videos a week, twice a week, every Tuesday and Thursday, and I would love to have you guys along with me. I have to get going. I love each and every one of you, and I will see you in my next one. Bye. I'm gonna kill you, Fly. I'm gonna murder. This is the first time you decided to be stupid. I'm gonna kill him. Get out of here. Lay your eggs and go.